Hi everyone, it's Emma Darcy from the Marketing Success Summit and welcome. And today I'd love to introduce you to Trevor Lorkings, better known as Busy Fizzy or indeed the Digital Alchemist. So welcome Trevor, thank you so much for being a speaker on the summit.
Thank you, Emma.
Hi, sorry, I think you lost me there for a couple of seconds.
I lost you for a while there. So
apologies, so we might just kind of say that again. So guys, this is Trevor Lorkings. And he is based in the UK. Would you like to explain to people where it is? Because my geography, I have to say, is not great with the
UK. Yeah, based in the UK. I'm in the smallest county called Rutland, which is pretty central actually. So sort of northeast of Birmingham, about an hour northeast of Birmingham.
Okay.
So a lot of people around us don't know where he is. That's where I'm quite a rural part of the world. So like you, our internet isn't great. So we'll keep disappearing and coming back. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to make sure here I have everything switched off, so hopefully it will behave. So just to let you guys know that Trevor, he does web design, graphic design. He's doing a lot of the design for the summit as well. So thanks again to Trevor. So he's been doing all the speaker graphics that you can see going out, which means everything is the same in terms of keeping the brand alive and well and looking good. So he does a lot of digital media. And Trevor is like a wonderful resource if you're not sure what to do with certain things, that you can come and ask him, because I'm not terribly digital as in with web design or graphic design and whatnot. So some people are very creative like Trevor who can do PowerPoint presentations for people and they look amazing. Whereas I know what I want, whereas I'm not actually able to produce it. So, if any of you guys are looking for help with Facebook graphics, digital media graphics, as a PowerPoint presentations, I've seen some amazing PowerPoint presentations that Trevor has done. And what other stuff that you do? Because I know you've quite a lot of strings to your bow, so I'm sure I'm not covering everything.
I've also done, because more and more popular as ebook downloads and that kind of thing, so I put quite a few ebooks together for people. And again, a lot of people know what they want, but they just haven't got the wherewithal to get the graphics. But nowadays, a website is no longer just the one thing you need. It's the whole gamut of everything you need, and it's bringing it seams across all digital platforms. So if you've got a Twitter account, Facebook account, and a website, and all the others, you want them to all look the same, or certainly have a similar theme to them within minutes of what you can do topography-wise and that kind of thing. So it's bringing it all together, and sometimes I work with people that have a website, someone else is done, but I'll bring some new graphics in to match with somebody who's doing some social media campaigns. So I kind of bring all those bits and pieces together, rather than perhaps doing the website or doing the Facebook campaigns. I'll bring the elements together and advise all round. So there's that consistent look and feel across all platforms, because the platforms are growing and growing, and there's more and more of them and more people jumping on them all, aren't there? So it's making sure that when everybody lands on your digital footprint, they recognise it's you and instantly see that's the place where they're comfortable being, because they've just come from your website to your Facebook page, and they're not an alien sort of jump to something that's different. So
well, consistency is key, isn't it?
Consistency, yeah, that's it.
Which is what Trevor does. So it makes us all consistent. Because oftentimes I think what happens is we, as business owners, get caught up in the day-to-day of our businesses. So it's great to have somebody like Trevor as a backup, whereby everything is looking consistent. So if people are coming to your website, they're coming to your Twitter account, they're coming to your Facebook, that everything looks good and similar. Or the same, and it's not. Tell us, Trevor, just in terms of, I know you have a good business background in general as well, and have you any advice for people kind of starting out, or indeed in business already, just in terms of digital media and what they should be looking at?
I mean, I've been self-employed now for somewhere around 10, 15 years. Lost count now. Before that, I was in purchasing. I spent 20 years in the purchasing career, a bit like yourself, spending lots of money. But then going self-employed, I started as a web designer back in 1999, when I was sort of still working, and the hobby grew into a business. So that was the early days. But we built businesses, e-commerce businesses. We built businesses that we turned over £1 million in our second year. And when you go from a startup in your front living room to £1 million in 2 years, there's a lot that you learn about business, because you get pulled in all directions of all aspects of business, whether you like it or not. And it certainly taught me a big lesson that you need people to help you on your journey through your business. And that's half the battle of trying to be successful. Is part of what I want to talk about today, is amplifying your purpose, is finding the purposes and using other people's purposes, if that makes sense, to help your journey. Even getting back to what we're talking about today, you're not great at graphics, so you found someone, get a big head here now, but you found someone that does know about graphics.
Yes.
So it makes your summit look smart because your graphics look slick, and that's what we learned going through the business. It wasn't easy. I wouldn't recommend running a £1 million business in your second year. the worst year of our life, but won't go into that now. You're learning things very quick, and realizing there's a lot of aspects to business, and you can't be an expert at all of it.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of people finding their purpose, what's your advice, Trevor?
Well, it's that sort of buzzword now, isn't it? It's the why, isn't it?
Yeah.
You talk about, is it an Americanism? I don't know. It's like you've got to find your why. And when I first, someone said, "What's your why?" I go, "My why? What do you mean? What's my why?" And a lot of it was terminology. And I think, looking back, I found my purpose probably in my early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And when I probably didn't know I had a purpose or had one I needed to find. And I think the best advice to people is, if you don't know what your purpose is, don't panic. Your purpose may not be ready for you just yet.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to slot into place to do different things at different times. So don't sit there thinking, "Why I haven't got a purpose? What am I doing? Is it all wrong?" I don't get stressed about it. So it took me 30 years to find my purpose. And up until that point, I wasn't thinking, "Oh, dearie me, what's my purpose? What's going to happen?" It came along, and then I found it. So I wouldn't get stressed about it. I would think, yes, have an awareness that more and more people are talking about it now. And whatever you call it, don't worry what you call it. Whether you call it your why or your purpose, I don't think it matters too much. For me, it's that thing that makes you feel alive. When you wake up in the morning, you want to leap out of bed and do something.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something you want to leap out of bed and do with great joy and delight, that's probably the reason your purpose is there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's that fire in your belly that ignites that spark that just gives you that light up, get up and go, and gives you that reason to do something. I mean, if I said to you, "Talk to me about consumer psychology," you'll start smiling and your eyes will get brighter, and you'll go talking about it, because that's what you enjoy. That's what ticks your boxes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If I spoke to, I don't know, Samantha Keller, we both know, if I said to her, "Tell me about Twitter and social media and connecting people," she would light up, and she would be a brighter person in the room telling us all about that, because the connecting people is what makes her get out of bed in the morning, I suspect. Mm-hmm. That's her purpose, yeah. And that's what makes a difference. It's that thing that makes you buzz, makes you brighter. And I think that's the bit that makes brighter, which then attracts other people thinking, you meet people and you sort of warm to people on the same wavelength and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing that you sort of, when you walk into a room with complete strangers, it's that brightness thing that just makes that difference of, that consumer psychology person stood in the corner talking about consumer psychology is buzzing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I said to you, "Talk to me about SQL databases," you'd be going, "I don't know anything about," you'd be down, not know what you're talking about. It'd be completely different. So that's the thing that makes the difference. And I think a lot of people will say, "Okay, that's all well and good. I've got a why, but what's that got to do with Trevor standing here talking about marketing on a marketing success summit, really, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, when I see it, and I see it in other people, generally once you find someone who's got a purpose, they're more efficient.
True.
Yeah. I could go and research consumer psychology. I could Google it. I could go to a library, remember what libraries are. I could spend a lot of time talking about, I could spend a lot of my effort trying to find out about consumer psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I could find stuff out about it, but it would take me weeks, months, years. Or I could phone you up for an hour's consultation and say, "I've got this problem with consumer psychology. Can you tell me about X?"
Mm-hmm.
And an hour later, I'll have all the answers.
Yeah.
So if my business needed consumer psychology, it'd be far more efficient to use your why, your purpose, to make my life better and quicker and faster, rather than spending months of research and time and effort and head scratching to get to the same solution.
I think that's a very good example, because I know if it was the other way around and I had to ask you about web design or graphic design, and if I had to go and look it up, I could go to YouTube, obviously, but I spent so much time looking, and I probably find the wrong end of it or something, or I have it slightly backwards, and I'm trying to do things that maybe I'm doing it when I shouldn't be, and it's very frustrating. And I think what happens then in those cases is people actually give up and they kind of think, oh, that's a load of rubbish, or they kind of park it. Whereas, as you say, if you actually call somebody, ring somebody, consult with somebody, if they're an accountant, if they're a digital media person, whoever they are, like as you said, their why, I think it definitely saves us time and money by investing and getting the right information from the right people.
And I think it also goes that one step further. If you find someone that really is clued up on that, and that's really what drives them, it's like a well-oiled machine, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's so efficient. You're going to get a quicker, better, more effective answer than someone who's just read a book on consumer psychology, goes, oh yeah, I did that at college, I'll tell you what the answer is. They're not interested, they're not bothered. It's just like, I did that at college because it was on a course I did, so I know something about it. Mm-hmm. Rather, you go to someone who's that's what they do, that's what makes them buzz. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's the application.
You're going to get, it's going to get a far better answer quicker. And that's kind of the glue that brings it all together, rather than just, I did that, I know about that, talk to me. Mm-hmm. I think it's really that the efficiency that comes through that purpose. And as I always say to people, you're going to smile at this one, do you know how to use a pair of scissors?
I think so. It'd be my answer to that.
I should have a slideshow here of a pair of scissors, but if you can visualize a pair of scissors, most people would say they know how to use a pair of scissors. But then I say to them, would you cut your own hair? Mm-hmm. Most people probably wouldn't. I don't. I'm not really enough to cut. And it's obvious, isn't it? You know, unless you're a hairdresser, I bet even hairdressers probably don't cut their own hair because it's difficult. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it really drives back to, if you found someone called a hairdresser and a really good one, and that's what drives them to get out of bed in the morning, you're far better going to them than trying to do it yourself. Because you said you know how to use scissors. So what's stopping you? And I think you can relate that to business as well. I say when we run this business, we needed accountants, lawyers, HR people, marketing people, funding, finance people, logistics people, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And we didn't make a fantastic job of finding all those right people because it was so busy, so quick. The acceleration of such a turnover so quickly, you don't have time to even eat or breathe or think in those situations. But we tried to find the right people to tick all those right boxes. Mm-hmm. And that's the challenge. The first challenge is finding your own why. We've said, how do you find it? I don't think you can sort of have a checklist and go, well, is it this, is it this? Oh, I suddenly found it. It's something you will discover when you need to discover it, I feel. If you can take that on and then start finding the whys in other people, you can start bringing the efficiencies together. And just going back to the web design thing, it's a classic one I get all the time over the years for web design, because for so long I've been known as the web designer. Pre-social media days, that's what it was all about. And you probably get it as well. I mean, I've had people come to me most of the time, they say, oh, my friend's brother's uncle's dog did my website. He works in IT and their website is a mess. Mm-hmm. Because the guy who worked in IT is a good problem-solving guy, because he's a techie guy with wires and computers and stuff. He's not creative. And that's someone that's not their why, but they've said, oh, I'll do it as a favour, and the website's a mess. And that's how they come to me or other web designers to try and solve that problem.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's an interesting example because the two Collison brothers that started Stripe.
Right, I don't know them. No, Stripe, yeah.
Yeah, they're from Ireland actually. They grew up kind of just up the road from me, and Stripe is obviously a big company, and they started, and they're very techy and kind of coding and all that sort of thing. But their little cousin lives very near me, and he has been learning coding, and I think he's wanting to emulate his older cousins. I think he's about 14 or something. So last year he designed his own website, coding like from scratch, like completely, proper developer, if you will. And he was so proud of it, and he showed it to me, and I nearly had a heart attack because, it wasn't like, from a marketing perspective, I was like, oh my God, it's missing this. And I didn't really have the heart to, because he was so proud, and he'd created the homepage and the about page and a couple of things, but he was missing some key things for making sales, if you like, or for drawing customers in. And so I think there is somebody that's really smart, really young, very good at like coding, and if I asked him to wire it to the moon, he'd probably be able to do it. But the actual design part was where he needed help. So I think that might be an example for people where you need to go to the person that just can't just do the coding, but like, I mean, if you wanted, you wouldn't ask the architect necessarily to design your living room in terms of the interior design, because it's just a different skill set, I guess.
Precisely. Yeah. And I think that's the battle, isn't it? It's finding those whys in other people, and finding people that actually have found their why, rather than I'm just an architect because it's something to do.
Yes, yeah. I got the points in college, so I'm now a vet. I hate animals, but
that's right. Yeah. So nice with this. I think the quote that I came up with that you liked was marketing. I define marketing for you as creating the desire to buy, and that's something that stuck with me for a long time. But actually, when you revise that, marketing is creating a desire, and whether it's buying or selling, it's two sides of the same coin, if that's the phrase. And I think one of the other speakers that you did a recording with, I saw you put on Facebook, someone, I can't remember who they were, but they were saying about how a business is always an ahead and a behind. And if you can help people ahead of you and behind you, that's the chain of business. And even Sam Kelly says about people buy from people, but people sell to people. And I think if you can move that buy sell, a lot of people see it as a bit of a fight, buying and selling, don't they?
Yes. It's like that pull. You feel like you're like in a tug of war nearly.
Yeah, precisely. I think if you can remove that and see it's just part of a chain, and buying and selling is just a process where two people or two businesses are just swapping something. And if you can get the efficiency in that by finding all those right whys throughout the supply chain, the efficiency through it is phenomenal. And people then don't have that that aggressive kind of buying and selling kind of thing. They understand a why, and if you understand your why, you then understand if someone else has a why. The same principles that they're going with is probably what you get. Maybe different skill sets, I don't fully understand consumer psychology, but I understand my why, and I understand that you will have a similar why. So the ethos of how you work is going to be very similar. And if you can build that supply chain along and get away from I'm selling something, you're buying something from me, etc., that chain then becomes far more effective. And we all know that the chain is as strong as its weakest link. So once you can build that, you go back to the hairdressers, the haircut, the scissors. I need a haircut. I need a hairdresser. The hairdresser needs scissors. The scissors probably come from a wholesaler. The wholesaler buys from a manufacturer. The manufacturer probably buys steel or whatever they get scissors out of. There's that whole supply chain. So my fantastic haircut comes from somebody who has a passion for making steel all the way through. And that's why my hair looks so absolutely amazing. Did it especially for you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. And it is back to the people, and it's, to me, it's making marketing attractive both ways. That we all have difficult customers, don't we? Like, I know the customers are right, but we always have difficult customers. And I've always learned, if I can make myself attractive for people to sell to me, that's as important as me marketing myself to others. Yeah,
that's actually a great line. Can I make myself attractive to people?
Precisely. And I learned when I was a buyer many years ago. I mean, I probably wasn't into my why then. I learned when I was a buyer and I was buying scarce raw materials, I had to be attractive to sell to, or people wouldn't sell to me. So I couldn't buy this stuff because they wouldn't want to sell it to me, because they had a limited supply, because of the manufacturing process they only had X tons of product to sell. And if I wanted some of that product, I had to be attractive for them to sell. You've got to look at it both ways.
That's an interesting idea, actually. And I think it strikes me of, that book, is it Simon Covey, The Seven, How to Influence People? What's that book? I can't even recall the name of it fully, but I think it's about that, isn't it, though? It's about being able to get on with others, being part of that value chain, knowing what you're good at, and equally acknowledging, I think, other people that are good at what they're good at too. So it doesn't have to be all about you. I think where some people make a mistake, it's like, I know everything. You know?
Oh, very much so. I think a lot of small businesses, when you work by yourself, I think you kind of take all that responsibility on your shoulders. You think, well, I've got to do it. I've got to do my accounts. I've got to do my marketing. I've got to do my website. I'll get my brother's dog's friend to do it because he's a IT guy. And you're going to try and do absolutely everything.
Yes.
And yeah, probably when you just start off, that's probably as you're going to start, because you've got to learn what bit of it do you really enjoy doing, what bit of it should you be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to give the accounts to someone else, to an accountant that knows how to do numbers really well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all a learning curve. As yes, you've got to find the right accountant, you've got to find the right logistics company for the deliveries, whatever you're doing. And I mean, even something like what you're doing here, it reminded me of a little example. I thought I'd bring some examples in. Back in 1999, when I started web design, and the internet was on dial-up, which went on paid per minute, and it feels like it now, doesn't it? I was sat there with my coding development brain on, thinking, this internet's amazing, all the things you can do with it. I want to send bulk emails.
Mm-hmm.
I want to send 50 emails to people one time. That's my ambition. And back in those days, it was very difficult. There wasn't an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
But you think, if I say to you MailChimp, you think of that cute little monkey.
Yes.
And you think how MailChimp has transformed just bulk sending emails. And when you look at that cute little monkey with a MailChimp monkey, and I'm not affiliated or trying to sell their services, and there are other email services available, disclaimer. But you know full well that they created that out of their passion. They had a spark for creativity. They had a spark to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a coding guy at the background sat there, like the guy you talked about, who was actually doing the techie coding in the world. But there's some bright spark people there that created that. They could have called them bulk emailing services.com, and a dull, boring website.
Yes, that's true.
But they didn't. Yeah, precisely. And that's a great example of a business having a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know the people personally. I've never met them, but you just can tell there's something about them by how they created what they did and what they do, and they're still here today doing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you use MailChimp, how easy it makes your life sending bulk emails.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And I've been there back in 1999 thinking, how can I send 50 emails in bulk by code? And I tried coding, I tried mail service, it was mind-bogglingly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. Whereas now, MailChimp, yeah, do it, great, fantastic. And others have grown up from it and done more sophisticated stuff. But that's a great example of identifying someone who's got a why, or a business that has a why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's for a small business, that's your challenge. Even if you found your why, it's building that network of people and businesses, people you collaborate with, your accountant, whoever, that will have similar whys in their business.
Mm-hmm.
That then that's where you amplify the greatness of what you do, because you've got surrounded you, helping your business, lots of other people on their purpose. And if they're on their purpose, they're probably very efficient in what they do purposefully.
Mm.
And, I do what I do, and I feel I always deliver more to people than they probably thought they were going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just have that, once I get in the mode and I get that connection and the creativity floods through, I get very efficient with it. I get very creative with it, because that's what I do. That's my purpose. I'm here to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
I've applied it to the digital world. I don't do watercolor paintings or sing music.
Yes.
I funneled it through a digital media. But creativity is what makes me get out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So when that creativity flows, and it's a bit like writer's block, isn't it? Writers say, I can't write today, I'm blocked. But when it's flowing, it flows really well. Mm-hmm. And it flies.
What would you say to people that are, thinking of a new idea or an extra product for their business, and they strongly believe it can work, but maybe aren't, 100%. It is their why, but they're not kind of confident enough to put it forward. Have you any thoughts for them as to, how to get more confident, or, how did you kind of decide you were good at this? And, is it just you fell into it, or,
I could spend another hour talking about how I found my why, but that's another long story. I'm on this planet to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here. How I use that creativity evolved because of the internet turned up. And around about where I found my why of the creativity, before the internet, I used to remember the old rub-on letters, the rub-on lettering, letter set kind of things back
Yes.
back in the 80s and stuff like that. I did a lot of work with that. So I did a lot of graphic design before digital electronic computers existed. So I had that creativity in terms of the graphic design side of things. And then when I look at my journey through life, around about my 30s, the internet started to come in and the digital media started to come in, and it's taken off like crazy, as we know. And that all melded together.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while to realize that's why I'm here and how I can use that creativity in a digital world, because I still have the logic brain of my inside of the computer. I still do development, and sometimes I'm very logical with my development, computer programming, which you have to be very logical to program computers. But I still bring the creativity in the digital media at the same time. Mm-hmm. So for me, I didn't go looking for my why found me.
Okay.
I would say a small business trying to find their why, say for their business, they may have found their own personal why, but you've got to add new products and grow your business. If you've collaborated and you've built a network of similar people that have a passion in what they do, use that network. Send them free samples. Send them an email saying, I'm thinking of launching my new online training course on consumer psychology. What do you think? Should it be an hour long or 6 years long, or what? Let them try it out and see, get some feedback. Use the people that are around you, that you've built your network with. And if you found those people have a similar passion in something they do, even if it's completely non-related subject, that's not a problem. As you know, recently I had a conference in Ireland we were at. I helped people there in digital media in completely different industries that had nothing to do with digital media at all. But the work we collaborate on, there's a great synergy there. Mm-hmm. Because they have a why in their business. They have a passion in what they do. And I help them support them digitally and help them with digital products to support their message and their story and promoting their business. Mm-hmm. And in the same token, they then can support what I do.
Yeah.
So they'll share my posts out on social media. They'll recommend me to other people. And it comes back down to this very basic thing that so much of marketing's about is word of mouth, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Word of mouth is still, I would say, as a non-marketing expert like yourself, is still a very, very, very strong, powerful marketing tool.
Yeah. Well, there's a term actually referred to the libraries of universities across the world, but called buzz marketing, which in effect is, word of mouth marketing. And, it's really how do you stimulate that? And, there's a whole science kind of around all that. But effectively, it is where people are speaking about you positively. And, and that's again the network Trevor's referring to, and where you're a cog in a chain, but people see you as a vital cog, and they're coming back and they're saying, hey, you have to get Trevor, you have to get Emma, you have to get so-and-so down the road, because if you do, that will help your business and help you to get more customers, because it's more efficient, it looks better, whatever the case is. And yes, it's word of mouth.
If you can fill your network, precisely, it's the digital overlay. If you can fill your network with people that have a purpose, the whole network becomes more powerful.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Because once you know you have a purpose, you can spot other people that have a purpose. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have that sixth sense in mind. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They know why they're doing it. And they have a purpose in what they do. And the synergies you get from that, a bit difficult to explain really, unless you kind of really get it yourself.
Yeah, I think most people probably listening will have seen it operate in some way, be it with family, be it with other business owners, even actually if you look at the summit, I mean, if you like, we're nearly all competing, if you really want to be kind of, as in it's people in marketing. However, to me, everyone has their niche. They're exceptionally good at a particular area in it. And it's one of the things I've noticed, that the people are open to, like all the speakers are open to collaboration. They're open to talking about what they're good at. Some of them are talking about slightly similar topics, but they speak about it in a different way, so that'll appeal to others, or somebody, it'll land more easily with some people because they heard it from one particular speaker. But overall, it's creating an overall genre of learning marketing, but from lots and lots of different people who are willing to open up and share their purpose, really.
Yeah. And I think that's so critical, that once you find that purpose, you just buzz about it. You want to share it. You want to pass it on. You want to help others with it. You don't say, this is my person, I'm not telling you anything about it. I'm not telling you about it.
Well, you could, but you wouldn't have a very good business now, would you?
No, I'm not, when you say to me, I've got a problem with WordPress, can you help? I say, well, yes, I can, but I'm £50 an hour and I'm going to do it. And, I said, yeah, just do that and I'll get on with it. If it's a quick tip that I can share because I have that knowledge and that helps the overall purpose of what everything's going on and the network happening, then I'm going to share that. Because if the Marketing Success Summit is successful and I can help that be part of it, then that reflects good on me. Hopefully I'll be part of the success with it. I'm not going to hold back. Say, well, I'm only going to do that unless you pay me this and I'll do so much now and all the rest of it. Yeah. If you come to me and say, all right, I've got 10 hours worth of digital media I need done. Yes. There's got to be a transaction there some way. It doesn't always have to be actually invoices and money. You can trade and barter and do things if you can. And a lot of the time I will do that with people. Some getting back to the chain of buying and selling. Sometimes when you're selling, you get so focused on selling, you forget about the buying bit. And sometimes your customers, you can buy and sell from, you can work together. Sometimes I've had customers in the past, I've never thought I could buy from them. I was just focused on, right, I've got to get a website for this company. I've got to sell this product to them. But once you open up thinking that sort of the supply chain is all part of the chain and get rid of the buy and sell, you then have to end up finding you then start buying from some of your customers.
I like that.
So it's just opening up that view of life, isn't it? And once you realise you have a purpose, that's your purpose, and you can then work that with other people's purposes at the same time. It just builds and builds and builds. So it's why I called it amplifying on purpose.
Definitely. And I think it's great because I think it's so important that we know and understand what our purposes are. And even if it's evolving and you're not quite sure, but you're getting there. There's nothing wrong. And also, actually one of the other speakers had an interesting point about pivoting, in the context of where you're going down one direction in your business and maybe you acquire new skills, or maybe you didn't really think where actually there's something that you do part of your purpose that actually helps others, and you pivot. So in other words, you add an extra service, you add something that maybe initially 2 years ago you didn't even think of. And and I think that's really interesting about business, where you're kind of like, oh, I can do this as well, so kind of adapt and change.
Well, it's a huge jigsaw puzzle. If you can step back and look at all these purposes over all these thousands and millions of people, not everybody will find their purpose. Not everybody will live their purpose. But, it's waves will move. And, you need a purpose. You're not alone in having that. You're part of a jigsaw puzzle in business that fits in with other people. And if other people are changing and suddenly nobody needs consumer psychology, your purpose in marketing and the knowledge you have and the passion you have for what you do, you go, actually, nobody's interested in consumer psychology anymore because other people's purposes all moved on to something else. You need to go with the flow and move with it. But the fundamental purpose could still stay there. It's like my creativity. Yeah, I've changed from just rubbing on letters on pieces of paper, photocopiers, into the digital world because this internet turned up and changed the field, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, and the internet keeps on changing. I've gone from I just do websites, and so I do all the digital media for all the social media, because the social media is now pretty big. I think quite a lot of stuff going on social media, and even that's changing. It's now more video. So video's becoming part of the game. It's no longer you just need a Twitter graphic. It's now getting into video. So I've moved into doing videos, 3D animations and bits and pieces. So that's a new area, keeping up with the trends of it's digital, it's creativity. Let's learn and move in that direction as well. So I'm not rubbing letters on pieces of paper anymore, but I'm still creative with that kind of graphic design, digital media. So.
Yeah, which is great. And just as well, Trevor, because I know, again, you worked in purchasing previously and, kind of going forward, what are your tips for people, say, in terms of for 2017 and 2018, in terms of your purpose and kind of what you're doing? Where do you feel all of this is going?
To me, I found 2016 I found the big word was collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So many more people started to work together. Instead of I'm buying this from you and you're sending that to me and I want to do it, people started working together and started building business relationships where they can combine their resources, they combine their skills and share what they have together to build those two purposes together. So it started in this year. I think next year we'll see more of that, people doing more and more together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's breaking down those barriers of the fear of, well, if I work with you, what are you going to learn from me that you're not going to pay for? And I'm going to, it's that protectionism again. If you can open up to say, hang on a sec, I've got a project on where I've been creating a series of ebook downloads. I didn't have the time or perhaps the knowledge, the depth of knowledge to create the content.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked with someone who's got the content, but hasn't got the knowledge how to put the ebooks together.
Mm-hmm.
So we come together, they've got the content, I've got the ebooks and the download technology, and we produce a series of ebooks we're building to bring the two together.
Excellent.
Now we haven't got a 500-page written contract in small print. We've got lawyers to sign.
Mm-hmm.
We just got on and done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll build the collaborations. People will start to see that once you find people you can work with and you can trust the people you can work with, that's going to come closer together. And I think the word trust is very key. And I think, from the time of the e-commerce world, going on electronic communications, electronic transfers, business online, trust was the biggest word that came out of the business. So you just said to me, what one thing that I learned from my £1 million turnover business? Trust was the biggest word all round. And I think the thing that social media is now bringing to us with all the video media, trust is getting more open because you can't hide behind a tweet.
Yes.
You've scheduled and somebody else has sent for you.
Yeah.
You do live video, you can't make someone else do it for you.
Yeah.
It's you in your pajamas just doing a quick Snapchat, having a cup of tea, whatever it is, it's you, it's real.
Well, maybe there's a business in there where somebody can get like a fake face or I don't know.
Yeah, hologram technology.
Yeah,
that's starting to build trust because you're seeing people for real, and that's what you need. If you can build trust, as a purchasing manager said to me once, if you can trust people, you don't need contracts.
True.
Buying and selling, when you've done, you always have contracts and terms and conditions. If you trust people, you don't need all that. I think in business we're a long way off of that, but I think we're starting to see people opening up on social media. The visual side of it through video is breaking down those barriers, and I think the collaborations will start to build and build. I'm excited to see other people working together that I know, see things happening, and when I step back without my business head on, I look back at that and think, yeah, those two people collaborating together are the right two people to do it. Their whys fit together, whether they understand it or not.
Yeah.
They just gel and fit together, and that's why once you find your purpose, you see the other purposes going on. And you may, the other two, I know them. I'm not desperately close to working business-wise with them, but I see them on Facebook and see what's going on. Yeah, that's really good, and that makes me feel great knowing that those two purposes are fitted together to find a collaboration.
Yeah, some great stuff there, Trevor, I think it's important that people do understand that trust element. And I think video and how it does, you could use the word expose, but you have to be yourself, obviously. As you say, you can't get somebody else to do it for you. And I think some people do shy away from it. I know last year we did quite a few blabs online, kind of live stream, and I quite enjoyed doing them. And I think that's just because I came from a background of teaching and I was used to kind of being in front of people, and I was fine with being asked a question and not having to go off looking for the answer. I could just, and I think some people do find that hard because, if you send an email, you can obviously take the time to answer or, different things like that. And I suppose it's more scary maybe, but in essence, I think, what Trevor is saying is right, that it helps people to get to know you if you're doing video, and that engenders trust then in them, doesn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, it does. It's peeling back the layers. And I think social media has gone through, sort of prior to the major video channels coming out now, I think it's gone through that state of people hiding behind their Twitter profile, endlessly churning out, buy this, I've got this for sale. And when you look at a lot of the Twitter feeds and the Facebook feeds, I think that's dying off a bit. I think probably if you went back 2 or 3 years ago and look back at Twitter, the amount of blatant selling going on that people aren't reading
Yes.
was huge. And so many profiles, and so many sort of fake profiles of people just inventing Twitter accounts just to sell stuff, you know. But as you say, you laughed. As I saw a very big social media account had 250,000 followers.
Wow.
And when you looked at their feed, it was just endless scheduled tweets sending out just endless stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They never replied, they never retweeted, they never liked. All they did was just a schedule system, endless sending out stuff.
Right.
But you look at it, 250,000 followers, they must be influential.
Yes, yeah.
And it had a person's face, it had a name, it was great. But they didn't exist as a person.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Right.
you know, put them on Facebook Live, and they wouldn't exist because they're just fictitious. So,
yes.
yeah, I think the video does break that down. I haven't worked away how you can schedule videos and have someone else sitting for you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think if you
it's
work
the
that
real
out, you're a
deal.
genius. You talk about time management.
It is the real deal, isn't it? And, you know, it's brought the world closer together. I know when we talk about Blab, I think Blab changed so much in live streaming. It's a shame it's disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But it brought the world to a screen on your desktop or your mobile phone or wherever you are. And it suddenly realised, you know, it's not, I only sell to people in my town and my village. If you've got the right product, and if you've got a lot of virtual products, it's obviously easier. The world is your oyster nowadays, and you can connect people all around the world very, very easily.
Yeah.
It is changing. And getting back to the contracts bit, you know, when you start dealing with people in other countries, you know, the contracts people have a nightmare. Or is it English law, or Irish law, or Australian law? Which law is it? If you trust people, you just trust people and you get on with it.
Yeah, true.
You know,
true.
that's what I found. So, exciting times.
That's fantastic. So amplifying your purpose. Have you any kind of final parting words of wisdom for people that are tuning in to get some inspiration, but equally to get some advice from people on the summit?
I think the inspiration really is, don't get stressed if you haven't found your purpose. It took me over 30 years, and it's still a bit long to find it. You know, it might be your purpose isn't ready for you yet. So if you haven't got your purpose or don't think you've got it, don't worry. Don't sort of panic. Equally, I don't think you can go on a training course to learn what your purpose is.
No.
You know? And if you ask me, I can't tell you what it is either. So it's one of those mystical things that I think is the joy of life that we lead. That you know, it will arrive when you're ready for it. But I think probably having listened to this, you'll be aware that a purpose may exist. So it's if it's a whole new concept to you, at least you're aware that something might be there waiting for you. Yeah, you can go looking for it. But it's quite surprising sometimes when you stop looking for it, it will turn up. So,
Murphy's Law, okay?
Yeah, but all my words of wisdom is a little quote that says, opportunities prefer to knock on an open door.
I like that.
Keep your door open, and the opportunities may find it easy to find you.
Excellent, that's great. Well, Trevor, thank you so much. And on that note, I think you can't get better than that. Opportunity prefers to knock on an open door. I think that's a great quotation. And in general, thank you, Trevor, for sharing your words of wisdom. And again, guys, if you want to talk to Trevor, it's busyfizzy.co.uk. Is that correct?
That's it. Yep.
And if you want to email Trevor, then it is it busyfizzy? You'll have to read.
You can get,
my brain's gone dead.
you can get email is trevor@busyfizzy.co.uk, and that's BIZZY.co.uk. So guys, if you want to find Trevor, you can go to his website, busyfizzy, BIZZY, fizzy.co.uk. The Digital Alchemist, you can find his contact details there. He's on Twitter, on Facebook, and a multiplicity of other social media if you want to follow him. And as you can see, he has many, many words of wisdom. He's a very creative guy. And if you guys need any help with PowerPoints or website or digital design, digital media, I can highly recommend him. He's definitely a person to talk to. So again, Trevor, thank you so much for giving up your time. I really appreciate it. It's the second time, so thanks again so much. Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. I think it's a great thing that's happening here. So happy to support the Marketing Success Summit. Really good.
Thank you. That's great. Thanks very much.